My name is Alex, or at least that's what we'll call me for this story. I was 28 when it all started, fresh out of college with a degree in graphic design and head full of dreams. Life was good, simple, but good. I had a steady job at a mid-sized ad agency, a cozy apartment in the city, and friends who made weekends feel like adventures. But then, I met her, Lauren. It was one of those cliché moments you see in rom-coms. A rainy afternoon at a coffee shop downtown. I was hunched over my laptop, sketching logos for a client, when she walked in, dripping wet, laughing at herself as she shook out her umbrella. Her hair was a mess of dark curls, and her smile, God, that smile could light up the gloomiest day. She ordered a latte, our eyes met across the counter, and before I knew it, we were chatting about the storm outside. "You're an artist?" she asked, peeking at my screen. "That's cool. I'm in marketing, always need good designers." We exchanged numbers that day. What followed was a whirlwind. Dates at hole-in-the-wall restaurants, late-night walks along the river, sharing secrets under starry skies. Lauren was everything I didn't know I needed. Smart, ambitious, with a laugh that made my chest tighten in the best way. She worked as a junior marketer at a fancy firm, dreaming of climbing the corporate ladder. I supported her every step. Proofreading her resumes, helping with presentations, even staying up late to brainstorm ideas when she had deadlines. Within 6 months, we were inseparable. "Move in with me," I said one night, as we lay tangled in sheets after a perfect evening. She said yes without hesitation. Our apartment became a home. Her plants on the windowsill, my art on the walls, shared playlists echoing through the rooms. Friends envied us. "You two are goals," they'd say at parties. And I believed it. Why wouldn't I? Lauren made me feel seen, valued, loved. But love, as they say, can blind you to the cracks. Looking back, there were signs, tiny ones like whispers in the wind. She'd come home late from team-building events, her phone buzzing more than usual. "Just work stress," she'd say, kissing my forehead. I'd nod, trusting her completely. After all, I was the one encouraging her career. "Go crush that meeting, babe," I'd text with heart emojis. We talked about the future constantly. Marriage, kids, a house in the suburbs someday. I even started saving for a ring. Nothing flashy, but meaningful. On our second anniversary, I surprised her with a weekend getaway to the mountains. We hiked trails, cooked over a campfire, made love under the stars. "I can't imagine life without you," she whispered that night. I felt like the luckiest guy alive. Then came the promotion. Lauren landed a big role at her firm, senior marketer, leading campaigns for high-end clients. "This is it, Alex," she beamed, popping champagne. "We're on our way up." I was thrilled. Threw her a party, invited everyone. But with the new job came longer hours, business trips, networking events. "It's temporary," she assured me. "Once I settle in, things will calm down." I adapted. Cooked dinners she'd reheat at midnight, handled the chores, even picked up freelance gigs to cover extra bills while she focused. Our intimacy shifted, less spontaneous, more scheduled, but I chalked it up to adulting. Relationships evolve, I told myself. It was a Tuesday when the first real doubt crept in. I'd forgotten my lunch at home, so I swung by the apartment during my break, and as I unlocked the door, I heard voices, Lauren's laugh mixed with a man's. My heart skipped. She was supposed to be at work. I stepped in quietly, and there they were in the living room, Lauren and Jake. Jake, my best friend since high school, the guy who'd been my roommate in college, my wingman at bars, the one I confided in about everything. He was sitting on our couch, too close to her, a beer in hand. They jumped apart when they saw me. "Alex, what are you doing here?" Lauren stammered, her face flushing. "Forgot my lunch," I said, forcing a smile. "What's going on?" "Just catching up," Jake said quickly. "I was in the neighborhood, thought I'd say hi." It felt off, but I brushed it away. They were friends too, through me. Why suspect anything? That night, Lauren was extra affectionate, cooking my favorite meal, initiating in bed. "I love you," she murmured. Doubt faded. But it didn't stay gone. Over the next weeks, patterns emerged. Her phone guarded like a fortress, always face down, notifications silenced, late nights at the office that smelled faintly of cologne when she got home, Jake canceling our usual hangouts, citing work stuff. I tried talking to her. "Is everything okay? You seem distant." "I'm fine, just busy," she'd snap, then soften. "Sorry, babe. Let's plan a date night." We did, movies, dinner, but it felt forced. My gut twisted, but I ignored it. Love does that, makes you deny the obvious. Then the bomb dropped. It was a Friday evening. Lauren was out with colleagues again. I was home alone, scrolling mindlessly on my phone, when a notification popped up from our shared cloud storage. We'd linked accounts ages ago for photos and docs. A new folder appeared, work trip pics. Curious, I opened it. At first, innocuous, conference halls, group shots. But deeper in, oh God. Photos of Lauren and Jake, intimate ones, kissing in a hotel room, laughing in bed, arms wrapped around each other. Timestamps from her last business trip. Messages synced too, texts going back months. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Miss your touch. Alex suspects nothing." My world shattered. I sat there staring at the screen, heart pounding like a drum. Betrayal hit like a freight train, waves of nausea, anger, disbelief. How? Why? With him? I confronted her that night. She walked in late, reeking of wine. "We need to talk," I said, voice steady despite the storm inside. She saw the look on my face. "What's wrong?" I showed her the photos. Her face crumpled. "Alex, Save it," I cut her off. "How long?" Tears streamed down her cheeks. 6 months. It just happened. Jake and we connected." "Connected?" I laughed bitterly. "While I was supporting you? Loving you?" "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I didn't mean to hurt you." But she had, deliberately. And Jake, my brother, he'd stabbed me in the back. She packed a bag that night, left for a hotel. "I need space," she said. Space? From the life we'd built? The days after were hell. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, called in sick to work, curled up in my bed, replaying every moment. Friends reached out, but I isolated. Then the lies started spreading. Lauren didn't just leave, she twisted the knife. Posted on social media, vague stories about escaping toxicity, finding my truth. Friends messaged me. "Dude, what happened? Lauren said you were controlling." Controlling? Me? The guy who'd given everything? Jake blocked me everywhere. No apology, no explanation, just gone. I hit rock bottom. Therapy sessions where I cried like a child, nights staring at the ceiling, questioning my worth. Was I not enough? The pain was physical, chest aches, endless headaches. But in that darkness, a spark ignited. Not forgiveness, rage. Cold, calculated rage. They thought they could destroy me and walk away, build their happily ever after on my ruins? No, I'd make them pay. Slowly, methodically. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of my revenge.
The weeks after Lauren left felt like drowning in slow motion. Every corner of the apartment screamed her name. Her half-empty perfume bottles on the bathroom counter, the indent on the couch where she used to curl up against me, the framed photo from our mountain getaway still hanging crooked on the wall. I couldn't bring myself to take it down, and I couldn't stand looking at it either. I stopped answering calls, stopped going to work. My boss sent concerned emails that I ignored. Freelance clients dried up when I missed deadlines. The savings I'd quietly tucked away for a ring drained fast. Rent, therapy, whiskey that never quite numbed enough. But the rage? That stayed. It grew roots, wrapped around my ribs and whispered at night, "They don't get to win." I started small, obsessively small. First, I unblocked Jake on one platform, just Instagram, using a burner account I made with a fake name and a stock photo avatar. I watched his stories like a ghost. There he was, posting gym selfies, craft beer check-ins, cryptic quotes about new chapters. Then came the photo that made my blood boil. Him and Lauren at a rooftop bar, her head on his shoulder, city lights behind them. Caption, "Grateful for second chances." Second chances, as if I'd been the villain. Lauren's feed was worse. Aesthetic shots of brunches, new outfits, motivational quotes about self-love and cutting toxic people out. Subtle digs dressed as empowerment. Our mutual friends liked every post. Some even commented heart emojis. No one asked my side. No one checked on me. That's when I realized they'd rewritten the story. I was the controlling ex, the jealous one, the failure, and they were the brave couple who'd found real love. Fine, let them believe it, for now. I dragged myself to therapy twice a week, not because I wanted healing, at least not yet, but because I needed to understand how people justify betrayal. My therapist, Dr. Patel, a calm woman with kind eyes and zero tolerance for bullshit, listened as I unloaded. She never judged, just asked quiet questions that forced me to look closer. "Do you want to forgive them, Alex?" she asked one session. "No," I said immediately. "I want them to feel what I feel." She didn't flinch. "Then you need to be smart. Rage without direction destroys the person holding it." So I got smart. Phase 1, rebuild the mask. I went back to work, apologized profusely, blamed family issues, and threw myself into projects. My boss was relieved. Clients came back. I started waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym Jake and I used to go to together. I watched him from across the room sometimes. He never noticed. I got leaner, sharper, clothes fit better. People at work started saying I looked great. Confidence, even fake, is magnetic. I cleaned the apartment, threw out everything that was hers, except one thing, the external hard drive we'd shared for photos and files. I backed it up twice. Then I started digging. Lauren was careless. Years of shared passwords, linked accounts, iCloud syncs. She'd never changed a thing. I had access to her Google Drive, her old email, even her work Slack through a forgotten linked device. I didn't touch anything yet, just looked. And I found gold. Emails between her and Jake going back 8 months before I caught them. Flirty at first, then explicit. Plans to meet when I was out with friends. Lies coordinated in real time. Tell him you're with Sarah tonight. Screenshots of texts they deleted from their phones but forgot lived in backups. But the real prize? Work files. Lauren's new senior role involved managing sensitive client campaigns, NDAs, budgets, pitch decks with unreleased product details. And in her drive, buried in folders, were drafts of emails she'd sent to Jake, complaining about her boss, mocking colleagues, even sharing confidential strategy docs so he could help her brainstorm. Sloppy, dangerous, illegal. Jake wasn't clean either. He'd been promoted too, account director at the same firm. Turns out sleeping with your subordinate isn't just unethical, it's against company policy, especially when you're both lying about it on HR forms. I printed everything, quietly, methodically, created encrypted folders labeled things like Taxes 2023 and Old Resumes. No rush. Revenge, I was learning, is a dish best served ice cold. I started planting seeds. First, an anonymous email from a burner Proton Mail account to Lauren's boss. Subject line, concern about data security practices. Attached, one single screenshot of Lauren emailing Jake a client deck marked confidential, do not distribute. No commentary, just the evidence. Sent late on a Friday so it would sit in the inbox all weekend. Then a separate anonymous tip to HR through their whistleblower portal. Potential fraternization violation involving senior marketer Lauren Hayes and account director Jake Morin. Evidence available upon request. I didn't send the full stash, not yet, just enough to make them nervous. Monday morning, I watched Lauren's Instagram story, a selfie in the office bathroom mirror. Caption, heavy head, big week ahead. Her smile looked strained. Good. I ran into Jake at the gym that week. Pure coincidence, or maybe I'd started going at his usual time. He saw me, froze mid-rep, then nodded awkwardly. "Hey man, how have you been?" Great, I lied, smiling wide. Really focused lately. New projects, new energy. You? Yeah, same. Busy. Cool. Say hi to Lauren for me. His face went white. He mumbled something and scurried off. That night, Lauren texted me for the first time in months. Lauren, can we talk? I think someone's trying to cause trouble at work. I'm scared. I stared at the message for an hour, then typed, not sure what that has to do with me. Hope you figure it out. Left her on red. Over the next weeks, the pressure built. I kept feeding the fire, small, untraceable leaks, a printed screenshot mailed anonymously to a senior partner, a fake LinkedIn profile messaging a client mentioning concerns about campaign leaks from inside. Lauren stopped posting happy couple photos. Jake deactivated his Instagram entirely. Then the hammer fell. I got a call from a mutual friend, Sarah, one of the few who'd stayed neutral. Dude, what the hell is going on? Lauren got pulled into HR today. She's on administrative leave. Jake, too. They're saying it's serious, might get fired. I feigned shock. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, she's a mess. Keeps saying someone's out to get her. I almost laughed. Almost. But this wasn't the end. Not even close. Firing them would hurt, humiliate them, but it wouldn't break them the way they broke me. They'd land on their feet, find new jobs, tell the same sob story about the crazy ex who hacked them out of spite. People would believe it. They always do. No, I needed something deeper, something that would follow them, ruin the foundation they were trying to build together. And I knew exactly where to start. Lauren had always dreamed of launching her own marketing consultancy someday. She'd talked about it endlessly, her brand, her clients, her name and lights, even saved mock-ups of logos I'd sketched for her years ago. Those mock-ups were still in my portfolio, and I still had every password she'd ever used. It was time to stop playing defense. It was time to take everything they thought was theirs. The fall was over. Now came the hunt.
They say revenge is a fire that burns the hand holding it longest. I used to believe that, but I learned something darker. If you feed the flame carefully, it can warm you while it destroys everything else. 6 months after the HR investigation began, Lauren and Jake were ghosts of who they'd been. Lauren's administrative leave turned permanent. Termination for cause, no severance. The official reason? Repeated breaches of confidentiality and fraternization policy. Unofficially? Everyone in the industry knew. Whispers followed her from meeting to meeting. Clients pulled out of freelance pitches before she even finished presenting. We're going in another direction, they'd say, eyes avoiding hers. Jake fared worse. As the senior party in the affair, he took the bigger fall. Demoted, then quietly pushed out. His LinkedIn stayed frozen, same title, same company for weeks before it changed to open to opportunities. No one bit. References, radio silence. They moved in together, of course, a smaller apartment across town. I knew because I still had access to Lauren's shared location sharing. She'd forgotten to turn it off in our old shared Apple account. Late at night, I'd watch that little blue dot settle in a neighborhood I'd never afford now. I didn't stalk them in person. I didn't need to. The digital leash was enough. But I wasn't done. Lauren's dream, her consultancy, was still alive in her head. She'd been quietly building it on the side. Website mock-ups, a business plan, even a registered LLC named Hayes and Horizon Marketing. Cute. She'd used one of my old logo sketches as the placeholder. I waited until she was ready to launch. She announced it on LinkedIn one crisp autumn morning. Professional headshot, confident smile, caption full of buzzwords. Excited to finally step into entrepreneurship. Hayes and Horizon is open for business. Let's create something extraordinary together. Within hours, the congratulations rolled in. Old colleagues, college friends, even some of our former mutuals who'd ghosted me. That's when I made my final move. I'd spent months preparing. First, I built a shadow version of her site.
Same design language, same colors. Hell, I used her exact branding kit. But the domain? HayesHorizonScam.com. Subtle enough to look legit at a glance, damning enough when you read it twice. On it, a detailed whistleblower exposé. Screenshots of her sharing confidential client decks with Jake. Timestamps of their affair overlapping with major campaigns. Anonymous testimonials from former colleagues, written by me, voiced through text-to-speech for any video embeds. A full timeline, how she used company resources to plan personal trips disguised as business. And the crown jewel, leaked internal emails where she mocked clients behind their backs. Careless Slack messages she thought were deleted forever. I didn't lie, not once. Every word was true, every image authentic. I launched the site the same day as her announcement. Then I seeded it. Anonymous posts on industry Reddit forums. Has anyone worked with Hayes and Horizon? Seeing some red flags. Tips to marketing watchdog accounts on X. A polite email to every client she'd listed as past collaborator on her new site, with a link and a simple note. You may want to see this before engaging. By evening, her post had 200 likes. My shadow site had 10,000 views. The backlash was beautiful. Comments flooded her announcement. Is this the same Lauren Hayes from the scandal? Clients messaged her privately, pulling out. One major brand she'd been courting went radio silent, then posted their own update. After careful review, we've decided to pause all new vendor partnerships. Lauren tried to fight back, posted a tearful response. I'm being targeted by a malicious ex. This is harassment. But the evidence was too clean, too undeniable. People started digging themselves. Old rumors surfaced. The affair became public knowledge in every marketing Slack channel from New York to LA. Jake tried to distance himself, changed his LinkedIn headline to remove any overlap with her past firm. But someone, maybe me, maybe not, sent the full dossier to his new job leads. Offers retracted, interviews canceled. They fought. I knew because Lauren's late-night Google searches, still visible through shared account recovery, were things like how to remove information from the internet and suing for defamation when it's true. Within a month, Hayes and Horizon was dead. Domain expired, socials deleted. Lauren took a junior role at a tiny agency 3 states away, entry-level pay, no leadership track. Jake bounced between contract gigs, his reputation poisoned. And me? I thrived. Work promoted me. Senior designer, bigger clients. My portfolio exploded with award-winning campaigns. I moved to a better apartment, sunlit, high floor, no ghosts in the corners. Started dating again. Nothing serious, but real laughs, real connections. Therapy stuck this time. Dr. Patel smiled the day I told her I'd stopped checking Lauren's location. One night, 9 months after the launch, I got a message request on Instagram from Lauren. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. Lauren, I know you did this, all of it. I know you hate me. I don't blame you anymore. What I did to you was unforgivable. I'm sorry, Alex, truly. I lost everything because I was selfish and cruel. You didn't just take my career, you showed me who I really was. I hope one day you can let this go. Not for me, for you. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed, me, I already have. And I blocked her. Because the truth is, I didn't need her apology. I didn't need her to suffer forever. I just needed balance. They took my trust, my home, my future, and turned it to ash. I took theirs and built something new on the ruins. Was it justice? Was it cruelty? Maybe both. But when I close my eyes now, I don't see her smile in that coffee shop anymore. I don't hear Jake's laugh echoing from college dorms. I see a man who survived, who rebuilt, who learned that some betrayals don't break you, they forge you. And if you're listening to this story, wondering if the pain ever goes away, it does. Not because time heals all wounds, but because sometimes you get to cauterize them yourself. The end. Thank you for joining me on this journey, viewers.
If this story hit you in the chest like it did me, like, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. We rise from the ashes, always. Until the next story, stay strong.